Hi, I'm Bobby Killmon, the Dean of Biblical Studies at Indiana Bible College. I had a friend of mine I went to Bible college with that's overseas, and he was being kind of pushed a little bit by some of the people he was witnessing to that are Trinitarian about some passages in the New Testament especially that seems to suggest that the Son was present in creation, and they interpret that in some type of ontological or physical way. Was the Son literally there at creation? Of course, we know that can't be the case because the Bible's clear in Galatians 4:4. Paul says that God sent forth His Son, born of a woman made under the law, and he says also in the fullness of time. So in that sense is the only way the Son came into any kind of physical being. So the question would be, what do you do with passages like Hebrews chapter 1 verse 2 where it says, He hath in these last days spoken unto us by His Son, whom He hath appointed heir of all things. And then that last little phrase, and this is repeated in many places in almost similar language throughout the New Testament, by whom He made the worlds. And so the question would be, is that by agency? Did the Father say to the Son, go make this? Well, we know, without exhausting it today, you can look at the article and see that God says, I spread abroad the heavens by myself, and beside me there is none else, and it's singular masculine pronoun in the Hebrew. So you would say, which person doesn't know about the other two? These wonderful verses are about rejoicing in the incarnation. So the little Greek word by is a dia in the Greek, and it's literally through or with Him in view. And you can look at the article for the genitive case in the Greek and what that means. And it's pretty incredible that that's what God is talking about. That the Lamb that was slain, like John picks up in Revelation, from the foundation of the world. Now, no Trinitarian teaches that God, the Son, was eternally slain on some cross. It was with that in view, He made the worlds. And the Greek word there isn't cosmos. Don't think created world, but it's aeons, which is ages. He made literally the unfolding of the ages with Christ in view. And so that means that God started way back in the beginning, and before He made anything else in the beginning, the Son was in view to redeem the world. And He made both this age, the Hebrew ha'olam, is this age and the age that is to come. That eternity thing was all hinged upon Him coming and paying the price as man. You can see this in Hebrews 1:8 when it says, But unto the Son He saith, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of Thy kingdom. And this is about the Son, but then He says, and He picks up a psalm that speaks of the one God of the Old Testament, Thy throne, O God. And notice that the King James translators, and here's the brilliance of the King James, it keeps the U's not just bland U, like even the NKJV would use that. It uses Thy to show that it's singular, which is a beautiful way the King James translator maintains the oneness of God that is much, much weaker in any other translation that just used the generic you that could be plural or singular. They went back 100 years earlier so that they could show that in the Greek and also in the Hebrew as well, that this is a singular. And when it says unto the Son, He saith, Thy, singular, throne, O God. It's that one God who became incarnate. And that's a beautiful way to know what the Greek is talking about, referring back up to 2. Only by the Son is that scepter of righteousness, the kingdom of God, available to us. That's why 1 John says, This is life eternal, knowing Thee, the only true God, John says, and Jesus Christ whom Thou hast sent. Notice it's not a Trinity. It's about the one God that they must know and the work that God accomplished as the human being, the Son. And that's the beauty of that language in the New Testament. So there's only one God, but you need to know the Savior, that God that robed Himself in flesh and purchased redemption. So the only way the Son was present at creation was in the mind of God as the plan that He would come and enact when the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father. You see, that born thing, that begotten thing, revealed the glory of God. Jesus, God has become my salvation. That name is revealed when He became our Savior. I hope you enjoy the article.